Hello friends, welcome to Nabila Mahmi Online Maths. Today we are going to solve word problem in mathematics. And the problem is on the board. So let's read it together and analyze it. The problem says, Musa counted 20 heads of animals in a garden. Some were pigs and some were chickens. Amos counted a total of 54 legs for the 20 animals in the garden. How many pigs and chickens were in the garden? So this particular problem is talking about two types of animals being in the garden. And these animals are pigs and chickens. Musa decided to count the number of heads of all the animals in the garden. And Amos decided to count the number of legs of all the animals in the garden. And the question is now asking us to find the total number of pigs and the total number of chickens in the garden. So I'm going to solve this particular problem with you. And I'm going to use two methods. The first method is going to be when the question is asked in the theory and you are to present your work for marks. And the second method is going to be when it is objective question. How you work it very fast and go and sheet because you need less than 1 minute to work objective test question. So now, this particular information is talking about pigs and chickens. And we are asked to find total number of pigs and total number of chickens. So what I'll do is that the number of pigs is X and the number of chickens is Y. I'm using these variables to represent their totals. But if you take heads and legs, we all know that a normal pig has one head and a normal chicken also has one head. So for the heads, pig will have one, chicken also have one. We also know that a normal pig has 4 legs and a normal chicken have 2 legs. So for the legs, pig will be 4 and chicken will be 2. Now, from the question, the total number of hairs in the garden of the animals is 20. So what I'll do is that I will take each of these hairs and multiply by their total and equate to 20. So what I'll do is that I will take number of heads of pigs and multiply by their total, that is x. 1 times x is x. Plus heads of chickens, 1 times their total, which is y. So 1 times y is y, which is equal to their total 20. Then let's call this one equation 1. Then the second part, we talk about legs. Pig has 4 legs. So I will use 4 and multiply by the total number of legs, the total number of pigs there. That will be 4x. Plus legs of chickens, which is 2. Then I will multiply by total chickens, which is y. So I will now have 2y. And this will be equal to the total number of legs in the garden. And that particular one is 54. So I will write this one equation 2. So you see that this is 2 equations involving 2 variables. That is simultaneous equations. So at this point, you can now use the method that we normally use to solve simultaneous equations, either by substitution or by elimination. But I'm going to use substitution method here to solve this. So using the substitution method, it means that you have to make one of the variables a subject. So what I'll do is that I will use one of the equation and make one of the variables a subject. So I will use equation 1 and make y the subject there. So in equation from 1, y will be equals to 20 minus x. It's minus x because I'm sending it to the right hand side. And when a value or variable crosses equal sign, it becomes negative. So, and this one will give me equation 3. From this point, I will now use equation 3 and substitute it into equation 2. It means that whenever I see y in equation 2, I'm substituting 20 minus x so that I'll be able to solve for x. So, substituting 3 into 2, I'll have 4x plus 2y. But y is now 20 minus x. So I'll open brackets and write 20 minus x, which is equal to 54. Then, to simplify by opening the brackets, I'll have 4x. 2 times 20, 40. 2 times minus x minus 2x. Then this will be equals to 54. Now 4x and 2x, they are like terms, so I have to add them together. So 4x minus 2x will be 2x. Then plus this 40 is equal to 54. From this point, I'll gather like terms by sending 40 to go and join 54. That means that here will be 2x is equal to 54 minus 40, because when 40 crosses the equal sign, it becomes negative. So here will be 2x is equal to 14, because 54 minus 40 is 14. I want to find x, or to solve for x. What I'll do is that I'll divide both sides by the coefficient of x, and the coefficient of x here is 2. So I'll have 2x over 2, which is equal to 14 over 2. And x will be equal to, because 2 will take away 2, and 14 over 2 is 7. Now, I will now substitute the value of 7 into any of this equation to solve for y. But it will be easier for me to put it into equation what? 3, because that one, y is already a subject. So substituting x, which is equal to 7, into equation 3, I will now have y is equal to 20 minus x. So this will be y is equal to 20 minus 7, because x is 7. And y will be equals to 20 minus 7 is 13. So we will be able to solve for x, which is 7, y, which is 13. But now, going back, x represents the total number of pigs in the garden, and y represents the total number of chickens in the garden. So that means that pigs in the garden is equal to 7, and chicken there is equal to 13. So the answers are 7 and 13. So that means that if you are solving this particular question in the theory aspect, this is how you present your answer for your mark. Now, let's now use method 2. The method 2 is going to be when the question is objective test, and you have to work it within less than 1 minute. So what you do is that use variables to represent the animal that you are talking about. So I will use C here for chicken, P for pig. Now, after that, I will now write head and what? Leg. But we know that a normal chicken and normal pig, they all have one head. So what I'll do is that here will be one head, here one head, but the total number of heads in the question is 20. So I'll write here 20. If you are talking about legs, chicken has 2 legs and pig has 4 legs. So you do it this way. From the question, the total number of legs of all the animals is 54. So you do it this way. After that, you bracket it this way. Then when you do that, this one now look like a matrix. Or let me just say it's a matrix. That is 2 by 2 matrix. And this one is a vector. So you now use matrix approach by finding the inverse of this particular matrix and multiply by this one. If you have basic knowledge about matrix, you will be able to solve this one without any stress. So what you do is that you find the inverse of this matrix. And to find the inverse of this particular matrix, you first find your determinant. And the determinant is represented by det, which is equal to the product of the leading diagonal values. That is 4 times 1, 4, minus the product of the other diagonal, 2 times 1, which is 2. But we know that 4 minus 2 is 2. Now, since we now know the determinant, we use it to find the inverse of this particular matrix. And to find the inverse, you take the reciprocal of the determinant, or 1 over the determinant, which is 1 over 2. Then multiply by changing the values of this. 4 will come here, 1 will come here, then these values will negate them. Here will now be minus 2, here will be minus 1. Then the whole of this is this one is the inverse of this. That is how we find 2 by 2 matrix inverse. Now, after that, we multiply by this. So, half times this matrix times this vector. But we can use half to multiply this particular vector because the vector values are even numbers. So, we'll be able to get whole numbers. So, what I'll do is that I'll write 4 minus 1 minus 2, 1. I'm repeating this particular matrix. Half times 20 will give me 10. Half times 54 will give me 27. Then I will now use 4 times this. That is 4 times 10. 40. Then minus 1 times 27, minus 27. Then I will now take minus 2 times 10, minus 20. After that, I'll take 1 times 27, and that will give me plus 27. I will do this. And finally, I will now simplify this. 40 minus 27 is 13. And minus 20 plus 27 is 7. So you see that the value that we have here is 13 and 7. 13 is for chicken and 7 is for pigs. And you can see it here. Pigs is equal to 7 and chickens is equal to 13. This particular method is very, very simple. It's very short. Because I'm explaining, you would think that is too long. When you have to solve this without talking to anybody, 30 seconds is even too much for you. If you know how to find inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix, then after that you just multiply by this, and it's a quicker way of solving this. And this method is used when the question is objectives, and this is used when you are solving for theory, for your maths. So this is how the solution of this particular problem will be. Thank you for watching this video. If this is your first time of watching, or you have been watching but you have never subscribed to my YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nabla Mahami Online Maths, so that you will be notified anytime a new video is being uploaded. Thank you once again and have a nice day. Bye bye.